Twitter. That's what it is. Anyway, welcome. I've got a lot of fun things to show. We've got some pretty good activity in the market. And one thing I like to start out with is the website. This is where you guys can kind of find more information about me and some of the newsletters that I write. And the last one we were speaking about was space and how we got that 52% up in 17 days. So come check it out. It's pretty interesting. You know, they don't always work right the first time. So this one is where I was trying to show, hey, you know, we tried it based on this news situation and they decided to, you know, run it up and then kind of fade it back. But then it turned out to be one of the cleanest trades of the month. And so really happy about that. So come read about it and you can kind of find out how I take these trades. You know, I like to let it all hang out. You know, there's no smoke and mirrors here. We've got pretty happy subscribers and, you know, I'm happy to show exactly what it is and how I use it and what I do with the Moxie indicator. So yeah, come on over here and do that. And then one other fun thing that I had, I guess these things go away. Well, I'm going to show you this. My dad and I were out the other day doing some flying, and I don't know if the audio is there, but we were doing some formation flights. So I'm in the mall, he's in the glass air, and we got my brother-in-law who's a director, and he's manning the camera. Now, as it turns out, he got a little motion sickness from trying to look through the camera and then trying to look at all this kind of stuff. But we were like, yeah, do that Top Gun thing, you know, where you turn fast away like this. There you go. Cool little breakaway like that, up and over, and then pulling back down through. Yeah, you can hear him say, like, yeah, in the background. So I kind of thought that was a little bit fun. As we continue on today, I'll probably pull up a few more just because we've got a lot of inventory of these really cool videos that I like. And I thought for some of those of you who are aviation enthusiasts that you'd like it. Yeah, Teresa, thanks. Appreciate it. Be sure to comment, you know, say hi, let me know what you guys are up to, what you're looking at, where you guys want to go in the market. You know, I'm here for you, so just let me know. And yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button and then hit the like button, and we'll kind of go through the market. As I said, the market's been moving around. I've got some ideas. We did take a few positions off right now because I could see that things were kind of going down for a bit. There was news yesterday that who's the Senate Majority Leader, McConnell, I think it was, said that, hey, even though Congress is back, they're not likely going to pass another stimulus bill before the end of next week. So there were some talks, I guess, Mnuchin, who was saying that, yeah, he kind of expects there to be another stimulus bill at X date, and then the Congress came out and said, it's probably not going to be right then. So, you know, the market sold off a little bit. We'll get into that. But what I would like to show right off is Jack, who is one of our other traders and good buddy of mine from Simpler Trading, did AMD as the trade of the week. And boy, did he nail it. We always like to put our own little spin on this. And I was like, yep, totally in agreement with this. I think this is a great idea. I was looking at it back here. You can see the lines where I was originally looking at it because it looked like it was at a squeeze. And essentially, I needed price to stay over the hourly 50 at that point. And this one I never actually took the trade, but I know a lot of people were talking about it. And for me, it's got to stay above the hourly 50 on something like that. So as soon as that thing broke, you're out. You know, just move aside. You're out. Let it hit your stop. Just move on. Now, that being said, I kept an eye on it, and once this big dip happened, you know, it's kind of a refresh. It washes people out, it takes stops, it gives the big institutions, as of course, you know, some liquidity for them to then pull up, and then you can see this thing recovered quite nicely. And what it do? Here's the Moxie price trigger, which means that's the Moxie indicator crossing through zero. And then what it do? It came down and bounced exactly off the hourly 50. It was pretty much at that time I said, yeah, this thing's going to be going. We just need to keep finding the right kind of positions. So you can see from that point, once it bounced off the hourly 50, big move. Little overbought, you know, got kind of too extended, hit the third ATRs, that kind of stuff, too far away from the hourly 50, and then it came back down. But you guys know my favorite trade, right? The trampoline move. And the trampoline move is when price is below the 50. Doesn't matter what time frame, just whatever time frame you're trading off of, is when price is below the 50 and the Moxie indicator is above zero. And what do we got right there? That is exactly a trampoline move. So yeah, I'd been watching this ever since we got that massive liquidation break from the entire market, which was concentrated in the Qs and tech. That was Monday the 13th. I keep thinking it's Friday the 13th based on the way it moved, but Monday the 13th. You can see the Moxie indicator here on the 15-minute kept turning up like that. Price kept regaining, and then what it do? It got over the 15-minute 50 right there. The 8 got over the 21. Everything's looking pretty good, and then it started to move, and as of yesterday, when Jack came out and said, hey, this is going to be the trade of the week, what did it do? It flagged right into the 15-minute 50, which is one of the time frames that I love. I'll show you. Sorry, I'm laughing at the cat over here. I've got, you know those like foam roller balls to try and like help your muscles and stuff? I've got it to sit over here, and the cat's just like freaking out, looking at me like, what is this new thing in the room? So it's kind of funny if any of you guys are animal lovers and have pets around. It is very funny to be watching what they do sometimes during the day. It's a little bit of entertainment while we're watching the stock market do its thing. But that aside, you can see that price basically flagged right into the 15-minute 50. I mean, just absolutely picture perfect. And so Jack nailed it. I made my video, said, yep, looks great. And so glad anybody went in. If you guys are not too familiar with simpler trading and our trade of the weeks, you know, we do a pretty good job over here. So case in point, good job, Jack, on that one. Oh, Nathan, yeah, glad that you bought the Moxie indicator. Happy to hear about that. Let's jump on over there, take a look, see what you're looking at. Let's see, SWKS, Skyworks, and see how I break it down. Well, the one thing I'll kind of throw right here is that we have earnings coming up on Skyworks. So anything goes when it comes to earnings. I'll just say that. I found almost no indicator that can tell you exactly what's going to happen for earnings. You can have the best setup, the best chart pattern, whatever, and it can either explode or implode. Or you can have the worst setup, like it'll be, you know, crashing going into earnings and then explode. So anything goes when it comes to earnings. But I can talk about what I see before and after, and then all bets are off when it comes to earnings. So first off, on the daily chart with Skyworks, you know, we're looking at price basically coming into the daily 21. Now, it makes sense that price is going to want to kind of chill for a little bit, because look at the distance between price and the daily 50. It's getting a little overbought. But that being said, you know, I'm looking here, there's a double bottom coming to the hourly 200. Great. Not really the trade that I want to take, mostly because here's price over the hourly 50, the Moxie indicator is below 0, and there's no divergence. So yes, there was a move, but this is where the Moxie indicator excels and tells you, hey, you know, this isn't really the right place to be into a trade, because there's no setup. You can see that, you know, price went down, indicator went down. There's no divergence. What I want is this. You see here, there's your double bottom. There's your divergence. That is a much better setup. That's what I'm looking for. You can then even see that near term on the 15-minute time frame. There's price down. There's your Moxie indicator flat. That's another form of divergence. And then you can see here price getting over the 15-minute 50. Moxie indicator looking real good right there. And then, yeah, we got that divergence. And then basically when price clears the hourly 50, which is about the same as the 15-minute 50, start using that stuff for support. Now, got the cat coming over here again. Now, where we go today, you can see, let me show you this. Price got a little bit extended on the daily chart, and it got pretty extended on the hourly chart. You know, kind of out there off towards the third ATR, and price too far away from the hourly 50. Overall, I'd say the trend is fine. If it wasn't for earnings, I'd say this is fine. Just expect it to pull back, expect it to want to find support at the hourly 50. But I just can't say anything when it comes to earnings. So if we just pretended that earnings wasn't there, then I would expect price to go sideways to down, eventually run into the hourly 50, and then keep moving up from there, as long as the Moxie indicator kind of keeps staying up from 0. And I still want to see price probably respect the daily 8, something to that extent. Bob, yeah, so in the Moxie course, definitely. So if you guys are new to Moxie and to me and all the indicators and stuff like that, if you buy the first class, I have another one coming out August 1st. So we're going to start doing a lot of promos coming up, because next week on the 29th is my free webinar to talk about the class, and then on August 1st is the class. This will be the second one, which is kind of an update. Like, there's a lot going on with this market. There's some things I've had to do to kind of change. Like, you know, we're looking at it right now, even Skyworks. These are different behaviors of what's going on with the market because of all the new traders around, and then also because of the Fed and kind of what's going in there, and low interest rates and $300 billion of treasuries per day being bought. So things are a little different right there. But the first class, absolutely. I talk, soup to nuts about the Moxie indicator, how to trade it, why it works, what it does, how I trade, my whole trading philosophy. This next one that's coming up, I'm going to start from the basics to make sure everybody can get caught up, make sure everybody understands things, and then I'm going to get right into it and say, what is it that has changed today, and how do we need to trade in this current market given the new volatility and all of that stuff. So yeah, let me kind of get into that, and then let me show you one more thing, because I know we want to have a little bit of fun here, right? Let's see, I think one of these, let's do this one. We got some fun stuff that, again, we were kind of out there flying around, and I actually dropped my brother-in-law off at one of the runways, and then we went and actually did some flying around. So this is where we were taking off. That's the mall. That's the airplane that I like to fly. And I just thought, let's get some pretty cool footage around here. So again, I know I got a lot of pilots out there, a lot of aviation enthusiasts that like to kind of see what it is I do, and they've been asking like, hey, you got any more aviation flying stuff? I was like, absolutely, sure do. Let's see, get this one moving up a little bit. So this one I'm actually coming in for a landing. I'm not sure if I do a landing or a flyby, but if you can see, I'm actually crabbing the airplane, doing a little sideways cross control, and you do that to basically create a lot of drag and actually get down quicker and faster. And that's what I was trying to do there, give them a little bit of action. So it's a touch and go, come down, land, and then you take off again. And I'm doing this all up kind of in Washington area, like southwest Tacoma area. So that's what you're looking at with this weather. It's a little bit cloudy, because oftentimes that's what it's like around here. So something to kind of break up the day today, because there's not a ton of trades that I want to be looking at right now, since the market is kind of softening up a bit. Yeah, Bob, those clouds, in fact, with my dad and I, when we're in the glass air, which is the white one, the fast one, we go out there and we fly like a fighter pilot, and we dodge and go around, and we'll actually set up a course with some clouds, and we'll do some slaloms, and it's a pretty good time. I'll show you another video at some point with all of that. So let me get into the SPY and the market. That way we can talk about this. And remember, the news was the Congress wouldn't be approving another stimulus bill, likely by the end of the week. So what they're saying is, yeah, there's probably one coming. It's not coming by the end of next week or whatever. So, the market kind of threw a little bit of a tantrum on there. But, before this news even came out, I told my Moxie subscribers yesterday at the open, I said, hey, we're getting up there again. Don't be surprised if we start to pull back at some point, and it's these metrics that I see and that I communicate to the subscribers. So if you guys are trying to trade and kind of need a little help and assistance out there, and say, maybe you've got a day job, which a lot of us do, and you say, I want to trade, but boy, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of work to do all this. How can I shortcut this? Well, you sign up for us. We feed you trades. We tell you what's going on with the market, and that way you can still do what you want to do as far as your job, and then you can also trade the market on your own. You've just got a little bit of shortcut with us to tell you what's going on. And so I told them, look, we're getting a little bit overbought here, and you can see that price has yet to touch the hourly 50. And that's telling me things have gotten a little overheated, a little overbought. And then yesterday you could see that there was a pretty big gap off from price to the hourly 50. And then you could see again, we've got a bit of a gap between price and the daily 8. So all of these things were telling me we're kind of up there, and we need to probably pull back a little bit. And then, of course, the news comes out about them maybe not being able to come out and vote for that stimulus bill right away. Now, let me take this, and then we can look at the Qs, because we're getting some interesting things between the various markets. IWM is up today when everything else is down, so be aware of that, and maybe start looking around at some different stocks in different sectors, because if the IWM but the Qs are down, where do you think money might be going, and why? Check this out. Did you guys notice that there was a double top? Did you also notice the negative divergence? So these are the things I'm looking at, and I can see that when it comes to the Qs and to tech, yes, there was a lot of strength on Monday in there, but sometimes they just kind of run it and manipulate it and kind of do this stuff, and look where it went. It went right to the previous high. I was also telling a lot of our subscribers, I said, look at this. This is not the time to buy. Look at this. You do not want, after a day like this, yeah, there might be a lot of FOMO. Like you're looking at this like, oh my God, I just missed this entire move, and wow, this is really strong. And oh, it's going to keep going, going, going tomorrow. But no, what's it do? The very next day, it just fizzles. Even today, it fizzles. And there are a lot of reasons that I can show you as to why this happens, and that's the kind of stuff in this market, this current market, that I can show you and we're going to be talking about, because you know what? You just don't want to be buying up here. In addition, double top. You just don't want to be buying up there. And we saw that. But then you look at the IWM, and you can see that for the IWM, it doesn't even care what's happening. It doesn't know what's happening. So far today, the IWM took a little dip. I think it was yesterday, then back up today. It's hanging out neutral. And it's just not, again, not really the time I want to be going buying some of this stuff, but I am seeing that the IWM is doing much better than, say, the Qs or anything else. All right, and then let's take a look at the UVXY, which is the same as the VIX. I just like to trade this one, look at it a little bit more. And for me, I look at this. Somebody's really wanting to say hi today. So looking at this one, I could see that this too was getting a little bit oversold, just like the market was getting overbought. So these are the things we need to keep in mind like that, coming out to the third ATR, doing something like that. And then, but I don't want to go long yet. Even as a hedge, I don't want to go long yet, because look, we have only gotten over the 15-minute 50. We've only crossed it, but we haven't actually used it for support to actually go up. Now, I think that might be coming. This is something we need to watch out for. And then let me show you this. I'll give you a little clue here. So those of you who are Moxie subscribers and understand my philosophy, the pullback that we had before, do you guys see this? It was an elf shoe. Here's your leg, here's your heel, here's the arch of your foot, there's the ball of your foot, there's the elf toe. Now what do we have today? Here's your leg, here's your heel. What is this? The arch of the foot. So there's this whole process, and I see these patterns over and over and over and over. And it's the stuff that I communicate to the subscribers, and we kind of guide you in and guide you out and kind of help you figure this stuff out. So I see things coming. They haven't confirmed yet. I know what I'm looking for, but it's not there yet, and we need to make sure that we don't go too early on some of this stuff. So that being said, so Alan, let's take a look at what you're asking. GNPX. See what's going on with this thing. What's the volume on this? I always check volume. Okay, so 5 million, but it's also a $4 stock. Let's see, what is this also? Genprex, okay. Not really sure what that is. It looks like it's trying to get going. Just be careful, because clearly this thing, it's kind of a day trader type stock. Likes to go up, come right back down. Likes to go up, come right back down. The question is this going to be finally the time that it goes? I'd say it's at least more likely, because this is not exactly, but it looks like a trampoline move on the daily chart. And then in through here, you can see a nice little dip, recovery, then pop. Initially, what I would say is have price follow the 15-minute 50. You can see that as of yesterday into today, what it do? It bounced exactly off of the 15-minute 50. And that was a pretty good trade. But at some point, it's going to become extended from the hourly chart. Because look, where is price in relation to the hourly 50? At some point, it's not going to like that. So for right now, use the 15-minute 50 as your guide, and then just make sure you keep cashing in your profits and then ratcheting up your stops. Now, how about this? Let me show you guys. Okay, it's a biotech. Well, a lot of those things are moving right now. Just be very careful, because they are news-based, and you have no idea what or if the news is what it's going to be when it comes out, and they can just torpedo these things sometimes, and they'll do it overnight, and they'll do it beyond your stop. So just be careful with biotechs. I am in a couple of them. That is kind of the market that's happening right now. Just be careful and understand what you're working with. Okay, let me show you JMIA. This was a wonderful 20% move in one day. It's actually had multiple 20+% moves, and it continued today. This thing was fantastic, and let me show you kind of the parameters of that. So first off, I almost went in on this thing a while ago. I think we had the live Moxie class, and I think it was on the 7th. I forget what time it was when we did the live Moxie class. And I said, yeah, this one looks really good. I'm really close to actually wanting to go in on this one. You know, price was coming here and bouncing off of the daily 50. And then the very next day, we got the Moxie price trigger, and the thing took off. And I was like, ah, man, I missed it. But I knew to keep looking at it. I knew something more was going to happen. This thing is going to be rocking. Essentially, now this is like a online retailer. Consider it the Amazon of Africa, actually. Now, the headquarters are in Germany. Okay, whatever. But look at this. I was looking for price to bounce off an uptrending hourly 50. The Moxie indicator is very much above zero, and we got a squeeze. Now, it took a little bit more. I think it was one more day. It took a little bit, and you can see it actually dipped below the hourly 50, which is what? Trampoline move. And what's my favorite setup? It's the trampoline move. And why do I love it? For these reasons like this. So we already had a position in on Thursday or Friday, and then I think Friday it kind of went sideways, and then Monday, this thing, I could see I was looking at it down on the lower time frames, and I could see that Monday started to kind of tickled and wiggled a little bit, and then right here I said, oop, there it goes, starts to move. So I put out another alert. I said, we got to jump into this thing, let's go. And then it just cranked all day long, 20%. Awesome. And then some people missed it in the subscriber community, and they said, hey, you know, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And I said, look, I'm an end-of-day trader. Let's see where it ends. Then we'll check it out. And by the end of the day, you know, this thing had really kind of gone up there. It was getting a little overbought. I said, don't buy it yet. Let's look for another entry. So yesterday, I put out another alert. I think it was about right here, kind of mid-morning. I could see what was going on. It didn't want to go down too far. And I said, look, for those of you who missed it, this is another good opportunity to get in, because as long as price stays over the 15-minute 50, it should be good. It should continue to bounce. And what did it do today? I mean, perfect. I mean, literally perfect. And even all day yesterday, look at the 15-minute. The 8 stayed over the 21 the entire time, and then today it just bounced right off of it. Boom. So we got another good move. Let's see, what is this thing even up to today? Look at this thing. It just keeps going. 14% again today. So we are up, let's see. We are up 33% in 3 days. Yeah, not too bad. Right? So very happy about that one. These are the things that I'm looking at and guiding all of us into, and we're having a great time with it. And then let's see, the other one was, you know, the problem is when you have all these CODX, too many good trades, right? Now CODX, it took me a couple times to get into this one. It was very messy to begin with. Let's kind of show you how this one worked. I initially was looking for, all right, come on. There we go. What's going on? So I was initially looking at price here, bouncing off of the daily 50, and then there's my, you know, price off the hourly 50 and the Moxie price trigger. All that we went in, and then here's a trampoline move. So it popped up and worked, and then it just didn't work. You know, it's like too much, too soon. I didn't like it, whatever. And so it started to fail, and we got out. But I kept an eye on this thing, and look what happened. Number one, came down to the hourly 200 and looked like it wanted to bounce. And then after that, you see here, price down, indicator up. So again, thank you for whoever is out there buying the indicator. I hope you guys are having a good time. This is the only way I can trade, is with the Moxie indicator, and I just show you guys how I do it. So come out there, come grab the class. It's worth it. I can't tell you how many people are happy about it, you know, and I'm making money with it. They're making money with it. But we loaded up on Codex here, and we loaded up again, I think the next day or the day after, and we just said, hey, I think it's going to work. And lo and behold, the next morning it exploded. Even on a slow stock like this one, 20% in one day. Now, we did take some profits off because this one was even crazier than JMIA. So we did take some profits off, which turned out to be, I mean, exactly what's going on with my, oh, I see. I have a bad cable. That's what's going on. All right, let me, there we go. So it turns out, you know, yesterday, it turns out got out at what, 22.7, which turned out to be the top. I was just kind of looking at this. I was like, I feel like this thing's probably had enough. So we took some profits off right there at the absolute top, and then it pulled back. But again, as long as price stays above the 15-minute 50, I'm going to be happy with it. And where are we at? We are coming right back down to the 15-minute 50. So we'll see what it does today, tomorrow, the next day. But boy, look at this volume. Look at that volume. Look at that volume. So I'm not too worried about this thing really crashing and imploding, anything like that. I think it's going to be fine, no problem. All right, well, we got 4 minutes. My cable is broken. I brought a spare, so I'm going to have to do that at some point. All right. Well, let me know if you guys want to see another video, a flying video, something like that. But otherwise, for those of you who are just showing up, be sure to come over to profitpilot.com where we talk about the space trade. We got 52% in 17 days. It's up even higher right now. Tell you exactly how I do it. So come on over. You guys can come check out Moxie Trader, subscription service, the indicator, all that. I do have another class coming up. I have a promotional webinar on the 29th, which is next Wednesday. So yeah, I'm going to see you guys live, and then we'll be doing it later that night. And then I have another class coming up on the 1st, which is next Saturday, about basically everything that's going on with the market and how we need to trade it with this current thing. So yeah, let's see what else you guys are looking at. Workhorse, ooh yeah, WKHS. I am definitely toying around with this one. How to do? It's okay, yeah. I might need to get into this one. I have been looking at this, trying to find that entry, and it seems to be right about there. So number one, what do we want? Notice how this was a potential trampoline move because price was underneath the hourly 50 and the Moxie indicator is above 0. But if we kind of look at the lower time frames, it never really happened. See how price never held the 15-minute 50, and it was also underneath the 15-minute 200. And notice that the Moxie indicator was, not so much right there. And then you could see price kept getting trapped underneath the hourly 50, and then we got the Moxie price trigger to the downside. So there just never was a trade. It was totally overbought. This thing was a huge move, and you just got to let these things flag for a little bit, which is exactly what I'm going to talk a lot about, flags, and how do we make sure we don't get chopped up in a flag, and how we don't waste our money or our time in a flag in this new class on the 1st, because, well, we're in a pretty good market. We're in a really strong market to where crazy moves like this are happening, and we're getting a lot of flags, and we need to know how to trade them. So that being said, look what's happened. For all the dips and whatever, you notice how there's a level? And where did this last dip go to? The daily 21. That's the kind of stuff I like. So as of right now, I'm still looking at, we got some divergence, the indicator's above 0, and right here we have price looking like it wants to bounce off of the 15-minute 50, and the 8 is over the 21, and price is over the hourly 50. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at getting into this one, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I do have some parameters for where I set my stops and what I'm looking for, but so far it's looking pretty good, and I like the dip that it just had to the daily 21. So Nathan, that is the tail dragger plane that I just showed you a little bit. Is a mall. It's a mall MX7. Let me show you some of these other ones. We were doing some formation flying. And then the sporty looking plane is a Glass Air, and it's a Glass Air 3, which is they had a 1, 2, and a 3, as you might guess with that designation. But it's a fast, retractable, fiberglass kit-built airplane. But we now switched my brother-in-law, since he's the cameraman. We put him in the Glass Air, and then I'm out here flying the Mall, which is the tail dragger. Up over Washington, you can see all the water and stuff out there. And yeah, just kind of doing some formation stuff. It's not often, it's very not typical that you do formation with very dissimilar airplanes, one of them being a low wing, one of them being a high wing, mostly because of visibility. It doesn't really work out very well. There's a cool shot. Actually, it's been a little bit since we've seen these. I'm not sure which ones we're actually pulling from. But yeah, you do that for safety reasons. If you want typically low wing to low wing. Let's see, how about we find another one? Yeah, Teresa, yeah, bring Jamie over when he gets home from work, and then you can show him this recording. So, because this will be up on Facebook for the forever future. But now we're doing trail, so one behind the other and then down below, because you don't want to get into the prop wash or the wakes or the vortices of the other airplane. It's fine if it's a small airplane, you can get up there, you can feel it, but it's kind of throws you all around. It's like a little tornado behind the airplane. But we're out there just doing some flying around. Let me see if I can find another fun one of the Glass Air. I'm doing some Yeah, we have my dad doing some fast flyby type stuff. We were trying to come up with all sorts of good camera ideas, but the Mall is a very tough airplane to actually be as a camera platform because it's got all these struts and wings in the way. So let's see, this one may not. Oh, there he is. But I think that there's a better one that we can get. There you go. It does another little fade off. See if we can get one where my dad does a cool little flyby. There he goes. There you go. Coming up underneath. Now the glass air can fly twice as fast as the Mall, which is what we're in. So you could just see it's like we're just standing still. Goes by, then I think he does some sort of loop or roll. There you go. And then I actually have to move the airplane and follow him because we were trying to figure out all the different maneuvers that we could do to make this work. And he didn't quite do it as quickly or as close. So I actually had to pull the airplane up with us in order to get the camera to be able to follow him. So some really cool fun stuff. As I said, I know a lot of you guys are some pilots out there and aviation people. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at. We'll have a little fun one today because, again, the market might be softening up for just a little bit. I do see some potentials. I might be getting into a couple things that might be, oh, honey badgers, like a workhorse. But you got to keep them tight because if the market does end up rolling over and needs to do a pullback, you got to get out of these things. You know, you don't need to marry them. And so no ifs, ands, or buts. If they don't do what you want them to do, just get out. All right, so everybody, we're going to be posting some links if you guys want to come over. Again, we've got the promo class, we've got our promo webinar, then we've got the class, and then we got the Moxie subscription to where I talk about all this stuff all day long. Cool. Yeah, Nathan, our neighbor actually has a kit box. We've flown a lot with those. Great airplanes. And then, Chris, I'll take a quick look at Chewy. I actually just got out of Chewy. You know, big picture, I like it. But I don't want to be hanging around in something that's not moving until I see this thing really get going. So until this thing really can kind of prove itself, which it looks like it wants to. Daily chart looks good. Hourly chart, whatever. I just didn't want to take the risk of this thing nosediving or just kind of moving us around, chopping us out until something happens. So right now, while earnings seasons is kind of upon us and things are happening, I just said step aside. We basically got out break even. You know, that's fine. But big picture, Chewy should be good. I just don't want to get in when it's not moving. So I'm going to look for a little bit more of a signal until something like that happens. So thanks again, everybody. Glad you guys have fun with that. And let me know if you want me to keep showing some airplane videos and pictures next time. Hopefully you guys get a kick out of it. So Teresa, good to see you. Chris, Nathan, everyone. I'll talk to you later.